Hi everyone, so welcome to today's video. I thought I'd turn on the camera today and share with you some of my favorite products. I didn't post a favorites for the month of January and we're already in mid-February and I feel like it's going to be almost that time for me to share my favorites anyways, so I figured I'd turn the camera on. I have no plans on filming today, but since I'm already going to be using these products that are sitting on my vanity, I thought let's just turn it on and just go for it. So I'm going to get myself ready for the day and just kind of show you the products, talk to you about some of the things that I have been loving and using, some standouts from trying new products, and just some products that I have really loved since last year, and they just kind of continuously made their way into my daily routine this year that I just think are phenomenal products, and I wanted to share it with you, so let's get started. I am still on my little primer foundation combo that I have been loving for a few months now, and I just cannot get enough of this combo together. It's the Caliray So Blown Primer and my Smashbox Always On Foundation. I wear the shade F30N and it is stunning. I did a video on this a couple months ago. I think it was like 2 months ago when I discovered this combination together, and I just could not get enough of it. So I've been doing this combination a lot. That primer with this foundation is just magic. And I absolutely love the way this foundation wears and how it sort of applies. It just is a great foundation that looks so pretty when you put it on, and it gets prettier and dewier as the day progresses, but not in an oily way where it looks like I need to blot. And I love the coverage. I would say it's a good solid medium coverage, and it has a glass bottle with a pump. And I just kind of do little dots directly onto my brush. This is the Anisa Pinnacle Foundation brush. I did a video recently of my favorite brushes and kind of just sharing with you the tools that I think are standouts in my collection and why I use them, bullet points on the brushes, what you need. And I hope that that video is helpful. If you've seen it, let me know what you think about it. It's a very in-depth video with some demos. I talk about all the brushes that I reach for the most. And this was one of my foundation brushes that I feel like is truly a game changer. So if you haven't seen that video, I'm going to link it with the cards here on the top of the screen so that you can go and check out that video if you are looking for brushes, if you want to start a brush collection because you're getting into makeup and you just don't know where to start. Maybe that video will help you and kind of guide you along the way to finding the right brush. Concealers, I've been mixing a few. I always mix my concealers. I love both of these individually. The Dior Forever Skin Correct in the shade 0.5N, and then the Tower 28 Serum Concealer in the shade BU. I take the Dior, which is in the 0.5N on the outer part of my eye, and the Serum Concealer, the Tower 28 in BU, which is a little bit lighter for the inner corner. This one is the Serum Concealer that hydrates, and so does the Dior one. It does provide some hydration, but it's not too goopy and too emollient where it doesn't set or where it creases too much. These two together are just a really nice combination. And it works great under the eyes, and I've also blended my concealer down. I tend to do that, and that's something I've done for years, honestly, is blend my concealer just a little bit lower so it's not just right in here, and then it kind of looks a little different, especially if my concealer is full coverage and my foundation isn't and it's lighter, more sheer, you're gonna tell. So I like to just blend it a little bit lower and just blend it out with a damp beauty sponge. And my skin has been going through a ton of dryness. Like some days it'll be really dry and just completely off and it's kind of weird, right? And then there's days where it's fine and it's doable. So today I am experiencing a little bit of dryness around the nose and just weird things with my skin since the start of the year. It's so bizarre, right? Like, I just don't understand. We're moving past it. I have to do my makeup anyways for the day, so I'm just going to work with it. So I did a very thin amount of my foundation because I know that if I put too much foundation, regardless of the formula, if you have dryness and just texture on the skin, it's going to be noticeable. So I try not to overload my skin with product. So I'm just going to blend a little bit of the concealer also over my eyelids just to kind of even everything out. Then to set, I'm going to use my diamond powder. Doesn't it look pretty, the packaging? This is from Physicians Formula. This is part of their new 2024 collection that came out for this year. I did purchase the products during early release at the end of December, so I did a video at the beginning of this year doing a review of all the products from this line. And this was one of the products from that video that has been continuously integrated into my routine. I do like how it has a very thin consistency and it sets the makeup really, really nicely where it doesn't look heavy, it doesn't look cakey, and it doesn't kind of look funny over my concealers. I can use this with high-end concealers, low-end drugstore concealers, different types of finishes and coverages, and it looks great. And I think it's a great option from the drugstore. A little bit pricey, but the drugstore honestly is getting a little ridiculous with their prices. Am I right? Like, come on, foundations are over that $20 price point, which is, that's insane. When you say it out loud, to think, wow, a foundation from the drugstore is 20 bucks. That's just crazy. And I always like to use my beauty sponge so you can go directly into it like this, and just be careful because when you push too hard, you do get like a dust of cloud where it's like powder everywhere, but that's what happens when you use loose powders anyways, and there's just everywhere today, and it's gonna get messy, but it's great. I like to use the underside, which is rounded from my sponge, the pointed side, any side will work. You can also push your brush into this as well and get some product, but it's a thin powder, so if you want a thin setting powder from the drugstore, check this one out. It's actually a good one. And I've also been getting into my e.l.f. Putty Bronzer. I do like the blush as well. I did a video about my favorite drugstore products, and this was a shock that I have loved this as much as I do, and I've reached for this a little bit more than these the last few times that I've done my makeup, to be honest with you, because these bronzers, the Give One and then the House Labs, are just top notch. Also my Charlotte Tilbury bronzers I love, but this is a great one from the drugstore that I think is a great sort of cream style bronzer. And I'm going to use my A24 brush. This is the Morphe and Ariel brush collab. I'm going to just go right into it with the brush, and then I'm just going to start blending this in. It's a really nice product to get some color and some life back into the skin, and it doesn't look heavy, it doesn't look patchy. It's just great. So you may have noticed that I had my brows already done when I started the video, and the pencil that I've been using is the Lawless Soft Fill Brow Pencil in the shade Teddy Bear. And I have been using this a lot. I do enjoy it. It's more of a waxy pencil, and I do think that it does my brows pretty quickly. I tend to do my brows off camera, and I hardly show that because my brows, they're just a pain. I've got some thin hairs, some sparse hairs, coarse ones, thin ones, unruly ones, bald spots, so I do have to do a pretty strong filled in full brow because I need to disguise a lot of thinness that I have in my brows just from years of waxing and going from thick to thin and over plucking. The hair just doesn't grow back. I've got quite a bit actually right here on my actual bone. Little hairs I need to pluck because those, obviously, that's not part of where I fill, so I need to get rid of that. But I do think that it's time to trim my brows. I have not trimmed my brows, honestly, in a few years. That is how slow my brow hairs grow. Like, it takes forever. So my brows are always a hot mess, to be honest with you, and it is what it is. I've come to terms with it, but this pencil has made it really easy to do my brows and quickly. Now moving on to blush. I have some blushes that I've been using and loving quite a bit lately. I've been loving my Give Beauty duo. This is the shade Ex-Girlfriend because it's that really bright pink. It's more of a magenta with a subtle kind of purpley undertone to it. And then this one up the top is a little bit lighter and a little bit brighter, like a more bright pink with a bit of a sheen, and makes the cheeks look so pretty and beautiful. But then I also really have been enjoying my Tower 28 cream blush. This is in the shade called Magic Hour, and it's actually the Tower 28 Beach Please cream blush in the shade Magic Hour. I think in the last time that I used this, I sort of butchered the entire name of this because I wasn't sure if it was Magic Hour blush in the shade Beach Please or if it was Beach Please cream blush in the shade Magic Hour. So the shade is Magic Hour, and I've been using this a lot, especially during the really dry patches that my skin has been going through. This is a pretty everyday shade. It's creamy, but not so dewy that it looks crazy oily throughout the day, especially over the Smashbox that tends to get dewier as the day progresses. This is actually really nice. And it goes over my foundation flawlessly. And I've also used this over powder, and it looks just as good. So it's a good formula. And I love using my BK Beauty 112 brush, which is a very wispy angled brush. I just go right into it You can tap off on a napkin the excess if you pick up too much product, but this brush really does a light sort of wispy kind of airbrushed effect with your blush, where it gives you a little bit of a wash of color without being too intense. And I love that because it kind of helps keep me in line with not going overboard, because I can go crazy with some blush, okay? This is just the best brush for me. Then for just a little extra something, I'm going to show you the Give Beauty. I've used this before in tutorials, and what I did was I took my brush, this is the IT Cosmetics Heavenly Luxe brush, and I just kind of went into both products and I tapped off the excess on my napkin. And I'm just going to lightly tap right over the cream blush. This is going to add a little bit of a pink kind of glow, but it's also going to help kind of set the cream a little bit, even though it's not necessary. I just want to show you both, so figured go cream first, then powder, but this is optional. You don't have to layer anything over the Tower 28. I just want to show you both, so I'm going to do both, and then I can always just sort of tap this out with my beauty sponge, which is a handy tool. Next up is highlighter, and I have two that I have used a lot. I absolutely love the one from Give Beauty. This is the Platinum Cowgirl. It has little squares with different shades, and when you swirl them together, it actually looks incredibly beautiful on the skin. I adore the way this looks and the glow that that gives. But I've also used the baked highlighter from Milani in Dolce Perla a lot as well. And I just think this is a great formula, and it's a drugstore brand. It's affordable, but it has a more luxurious look to the skin, and the formula is great. This is made in Italy. Italy makes great cosmetic products, so the formula is very special. It gives a subtle kind of candlelit glow if you use a fluffy brush, but if you pack this on, it does look intense. So you can really work this in many ways to suit your needs. So I'm going to show you this one from Milani just lightly with a big fluffy brush, and this is a Morphe and L'Oreal brush, the A22. So I'm going to take a little bit of that just on the very tip of the brush, tap off the excess, and just do a light, quick like sweep. And you see it gives a little bit of glow without being too intense. This is an A14, also from Morphe and L'Oreal brush set. And I do take a little bit more of that product, tapping off the excess, and then I just kind of press this onto the cheekbones and right through the brow bone, right through here. And it will intensify this glow and this sheen that gives the skin, but it's not glittery. There's no chunky sparkles or big pieces of shimmer. It just lays so nice over the skin, and I love the way this looks, and it is really pretty as an eyeshadow as well. Next up are shadow sticks. I love a good shadow stick. I have many of them in all different colors. I've got light ones, very shimmery shades. I've got some that are more matte, deeper shades. And I just love a good shadow stick. And I just pulled just randomly from my drawer a handful, and these were the ones on the very top. So the Makeup Forever that I recently demoed, this is the Aqua Resist Smoky Shadow in the shade Sunrise. It's the perfect everyday shade. Love it. The Longwear Kajal liners. These are actually eyeliners. That's what's written on the packaging from Laura Geller, but I can use these, kind of scribble it on and sort of blend it out with my fingers, a brush, or use them as liner, which I've demoed these before as liner. They make easy liners. Like, it's too easy to take a jumbo crayon like this and just do a line, soften the edge a little bit, throw on some mascara, and call it a day. To go out for a quick errand, go to the grocery store, go grab a bite to eat, or just like me, I'm a stay-at-home mom and I get myself ready and I do a full face every day. I love these, whether I'm doing a lot of eyeshadows for the day or if I'm doing something simple. And I have just loved these, especially this one from Makeup Forever. I love this color so much, so I'm going to use it today because I love it. What can I say? I'm just being honest. It's a great everyday shade. It's kind of bronzy and a little bit of depth, as you can see there. Hopefully the camera can show you that. A little bronzy, a little slight kind of hint of copper, but it is a metallic finish, so it does add some intensity to the eye without being a glitter type of eyeshadow or cream formula. I love it. And it's just easy. It takes seconds. So I'm going to do this really quickly. And then what I like to do after I scribble this on is take the Angie Hot and Flashy A501 brush or any sort of flat eyeshadow brush and just soften the edge. And I do this one eye at a time because these formulas tend to be quite long wearing. You don't want to scribble this on one eye, scribble the next eye, and then go searching for a brush, because by the time you do that, depending on the formula, it may be already set. And that becomes a problem when you can't move the product. So you want to do one eye at a time and just sort of work quickly. And that literally could be an entire eye look. And of course, I'll take some on the lower lash line as well. And then for this, I do like to use my finger. You can also use a brush, honestly, but the finger method is just easy, it's quick, and it doesn't involve having to bring in a bunch of brushes. Use your finger to blend it out. Do the same for the upper eye if you don't want to use a brush. Some other eyeshadow products that I have been using a lot, the Dreamy Dozen by Lawless. I have loved this since I started using it. The formula is beautiful. They blend so easily. It's a talc-free formula. You have 12 shadows. It's everything that you could ever need. If you like very easy, everyday, I hate to say basic looks, because that's what this is. It's your basic staples, right? And to me, I can't have enough of these shades in my collection. It's what I wear every day, what I reach for. So when I buy these types of colors, even though I have similar shades in other ranges and other palettes, singles, other brands, different price points, there's just something really special about having a palette that can give you so many basic neutrals, a little bit of warmth, a little bit of cool, a few options for shimmer. And this one at the bottom is more metallic-y with a bit more of a sparkly look. And it's so beautiful. I just adore it. This is what I was wearing in my last video on my lids as my main eyeshadow, and they blend themselves. That is like, to me, it's everything, because like I said before, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I don't have time to make shadows work. They just need to work from the jump. Like the moment I start applying, they just need to perform, because I don't have time to fix mistakes, take it off, start over. I just can't do that. And this is perfect for my everyday. But this palette as well, which is more affordable, from Colourpop, the 1111, this surprised me. Surprised the heck out of me, okay? It's your everyday, your basics again. It has some mattes, it has some bits of shimmer, some lighter tones, mid-tones, deeper shades, some with sparkle, some more of a metallic, like liquid metal. Like these two shades, I will do a quick swatch. They're really intense, and the finish of these is out of this world. That shade called Reflect is a really pretty bronzy with a touch of copper and a little bit of sparkle, and it's so beautiful. If you apply it with your finger on the lids, it's incredible. The mattes, the mattes on this, okay, you need this. If you like these shades, you need them. I am going to use a shade from the Dreamy Dozen palette really quickly to sort of add a little bit more color in my crease, and I'm going to use my BK Beauty Angie Hot and Flashy A503 crease brush, and I'm going to go into this shade right here. This shade, which is called Hazel, and I'm going to just add this right into my crease, right over that blended shadow stick. Really quick to just kind of add a little bit more. I figured I have you already here watching. Why not do a little bit more than just a simple shadow stick? I'm going to take that same hazel shade that I use in my crease with my MAC 219 and just add a little bit more right on this outer part of my eye, just to deepen it just a little bit more than what I already had. Then to highlight, I'm going to take the matte white shade from the Lawless with a reference number 3. That's going to be my inner corner highlight. And we're done. This is the face of the day using all of my favorite products, the ones that I've been reaching for so much over the last several weeks. And I just thought, why not share them with you? I'm already doing my makeup anyway, so I might as well just talk out loud and share with you what I'm using, because these were the products that I was going to use anyways today. They've been sitting on my vanity, and these products are just chef's kiss. The formulas are spectacular. They all sort of work and play nicely with each other. They work well individually without mixing, like the concealers, for example. I don't have to mix those to make them work. They're beautiful on their own. The foundation is stellar. That primer, the Caliray So Blown Primer, is really great. And all of these products, they're just really great products. I'm going to list everything down below. I'm going to link all the products so that you can shop for yourself, anything that you're interested in from this video. And if you use my links, thanks so much for supporting me and my channel. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for being here, for watching. Share with me in the comments down below what are your favorite products that you've been loving this year so far. I would love to hear from you. You can subscribe for more videos like this in the future, and also follow me on Instagram. It's always here on the screen. Take care, you guys, and we'll talk very soon. Bye-bye.